I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I am happy to be joined by Nanahoshi. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, thanks so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Nanahoshi. I am the sole librarian and keeper of the Forgotten Library. I'm an indie VTuber, writer, and storyteller.
Yes, and you've got a myriad of links that you're on, where we'll have all that in the description for the video. I am always fascinated by folks who are writers, and especially when they come on and do a medium that is a little different than that. Is there anything you can compare between VTubing and writing?
I mean, there's a lot of overlap, I think, when it comes to writing. There's a lot of us who do lore. I think a lot of us also like to write songs, or at least want to get into songwriting to some extent, or maybe they want to do something like, comic books or something of that nature.
Oh yeah.
And VTubing is great because of how many mediums you can really go across, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's one you get a chance to try so many different things too that you normally wouldn't have a chance to. And sometimes with other people. Now you're doing it with an audience, which is a little different. Standing at home and trying it, but you have people that go through it with you as you do these things. When you first started putting pen to paper and doing some writing, was this something that you've done all your life?
Yeah, I grew up loving literature, and my mom was an English professor, so writing and literature and reading all came hand in hand growing up. It
Oh,
was a big part of my childhood. So,
wow. I I went into radio in college, and one would think that I had a really decent background um, in English classes in high school, but I really didn't. It was math, which I did not use for the rest of my life. Um, and it's been a long time since then. I had to kind of learn as I went how to write for those papers. What is your favorite style of writing? What would you like to sit down and do?
I really like to change up the medium. I really enjoyed storyboard writing.
Mm-hmm.
I've also enjoyed lyric writing a lot more lately.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I mean, doing my own lore, which is kind of odd the way that I'm doing it anyway, but I really enjoy that. So,
Are you kind of doing it inside out? Start.
well, it's really disjointed. So
Mm.
like if you catch one of them on like Twitter, because like I post them in random places.
Mm-hmm.
So if you happen to come across one, it may seem just like a normal prose, but I mean, they do actually all link together. And if you were to dig deep enough, you would actually find out quite a bit of information about me.
You're using your writing skills to make it a um, a mystery to be solved.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, the more that we can include things like that into our work, the more it will drive people to be more interactive with what you're doing,
Oh,
which is
yeah,
ultimately the goal.
absolutely, absolutely. Now, you say you've been getting into lyric writing. Um, was that something you did early on, or is that something that you just caught up to recently?
I've been doing that since high school, probably.
Hmm.
My brother was actually a pretty popular musician back where we were.
Mm.
And I used to help him write. So it was something I learned, maybe not super early on, but long enough ago that I've been doing it a while.
Well, that's still a very early age to be doing that sort of thing. I mean, that's I give you all the credit in the world for that. Not just to be that talented, but to have the guts to show other people what you're doing. I've never been able to do something like that. But has that been easy for you to show what you're doing?
It wasn't always easy.
Hmm.
We all struggle with confidence issues and things of that nature. I mean, who in this field doesn't have some sense of like imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that a lot
Oh,
here.
yeah. I have been accused of being an imposter lots of times, and yes, also imposter syndrome. It is tough to deal with when you look back at something you've done and say, do I really should I be credited for this, or is this good enough to show anybody? Uh, have you gotten over that, or does that still hit you every once in a while?
Yeah, it still hits me every once in a while, but I feel really good about the things that I put out,
Mm-hmm.
especially like if I'm doing work for someone else, if I take a commission for someone and I do their lore, like I want to make sure that they like it and I like it and that, everyone's going to be happy with the final product.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
I have to be confident in my work to be able to do it that way.
do you like doing that sort of writing? I mean, you're kind of you're kind of under a set of restrictions when you do that sort, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I mean, isn't innovation created by restriction?
Hmm. Sometimes, but, yeah, but it doing it. Any artist, and I consider writing as much an art as anything else. Um, they would rather have purely their own input and ideas into something, and then when somebody kind of starts giving them the deadlines and this but not that, and it doesn't become their work anymore. Do you see what you're doing as that, or are you good with it?
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's part of the deal, right? Like, I got to be able to fund my own stuff. So, commissions help with that. If I want to make more of my own art, sometimes you have to accept that there are restrictions to some of your projects.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're taking commissions and you put it out there that you will be very specific to what they say. You got to live up to that. And
Absolutely.
was that something that you took too quickly, or did it take a while for you to see other people's vision as you're doing your work?
I think I took to it pretty quickly.
Mm.
I used to write for people. Oh, this is embarrassing, but I used to write for people in high school and college. I would occasionally do people's essays and things like that for them
Hmm.
to earn a little extra money on the side.
The the statutory limit has expired on all that, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thankfully.
yes. Um, but I mean, they trusted you with it, and it was pretty important stuff. Um, it's um, did it's just floors me because I'm one of those folks that's got ideas running through their head, but never puts them down on paper. Is it easy for you to immediately go from idea to paper, or do you have to run it through the ringer a couple times?
I look at everything as though it were writing to begin with. Like my brain just immediately puts everything into kind of like uh, it processes everything as though it's like a book anyway. So
Oh,
when I view things, I view them through symbolism and allegory and what could this mean for a person's character development? That's just how I think. And so it becomes more second nature for me to create stories out of it.
mm. Allegories are fun to work with, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's something. It gives you just that extra tool to try and describe a feeling or a sight, um, that you can't have by just being kind of plain vanilla with your text.
Well, I've never been accused of being vanilla.
Oh, I have. But it's I sometimes, especially when I'm talking, I'll go back and say, it's like this, that, and the other thing, and it just allows me to be more specific without having to come up with a word that nobody ever uses. or
Yeah, I hear ya.
yeah, it's a little tough sometimes, and the English language is kind of weird in some ways that way too. Is that when I look at other people's languages, like Japanese, for example, that they have single words for entire concepts that in at least the United States English, you'd have to use um, an entire paragraph and a half, and they've got one word for it. I
Yeah,
really,
sometimes that's true, but
yeah,
it goes both ways. I mean,
mm,
we have a lot of words that they don't understand as well,
yeah.
that have, complicated meanings behind them.
Oh, they have a lot. There's a lot of words here that I don't understand that I do. I that or how they were put together, and I'm one of the folks who enjoys the Sunday New York Times crossword and Scrabble and all of that, the word stuff. And I'm pretty sure that I know how to spell a lot of words that I don't know the meaning of because of that. Have you always been able to find the exact words you're looking for when you're trying to put something on writing?
Yes and no.
Mm.
It's funny that you brought up spelling
Mm.
because, like, so when I'm writing, the thing I struggle with the most is my spelling because
Hmm.
I'm a bit dyslexic.
Hmm.
More than a bit, I'm like extremely dyslexic.
Right.
And so I will know the word I want to put down, but I can't spell it.
Mm.
And so I have to sit there and try and like figure out how to get autocorrect to figure out what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, because
That's really the only part that I struggle with.
yeah, it's so if you were to have say a word like sudden, Sudden, how would that look to you, or would you even recognize it?
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I do a lot of reading. I just have to read a lot slower than other people because
Mm.
sometimes I read words backwards or like it doesn't make sense.
Mm. Mm. So you're coming at it from all angles. Is it?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough thing to for folks who don't deal with that to kind of empathize with because they don't see things that way. Um, do you think that doing it slower and taking your time has actually helped you as a writer be more uh, precise with your words?
I think so. I
Mm.
think because like I started reading so early on
Mm-hmm.
that I've been able to overcome the dyslexia to some extent. Like you find coping mechanisms that work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start reading like the really big classics as early as I did, you just kind of learn how to make it work, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Yeah. And we're not talking classics like Fun with Dick and Jane, right? We're talking like the real classic books.
Right, right. No,
Yeah.
the real classics. We're
Yeah.
talking things like Moby Dick,
Mm-hmm.
Black Beauty,
Yeah.
Frankenstein,
Oh, yeah.
actual classics.
Yeah. It's some. I started school at about 1970. Um, at that time, going to kindergarten, we only did a half day of kindergarten back then. If you could read at all, they thought you were a big brainiac genius. Um, Nowadays,
Yeah.
if you don't have preschool and have about two different languages in, they think you're not keeping up with everybody. Um, do you see that happening now where people are really pressured into that early on?
Actually, I think it may be the opposite. I think our literacy rate has gone down,
Mm,
and it makes me sad. I think our education system's probably failing a lot of people that it could be doing better with.
mm. Well, I'm sure that's true. We had our own situations. If somebody was having a problem keeping up in class for one reason or another, I mean, we certainly didn't hear any words like um, autism or anything like that back then. I'm sure there were folks who had it because it just didn't suddenly appear. Um, they were kept out of the class and they weren't able to keep up anyway. I really wish those folks would have had the tools that we have now and the understanding of their situations now, because it would have helped them out so much. I saw them at the reunion, and they're all doing really well, which I'm glad for. Uh, but it almost seems brutish to think about it that way now.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, um, it, I'm glad that people have that ability at this point. So when you were in school, being a writer, um, were you able to concentrate in class, or were you drifting off and writing things in your head?
That's a great question. Yeah, I got in trouble all the time for not doing what I was supposed to. You know, it was math class or something, and I'm writing a story instead. And yeah, that was something I definitely got in trouble for a lot.
It's not anybody's fault. You're just being, you're being creative. That's what you're doing, and that's if you can keep doing that and not get stepped on by people and um, cut off from being able to do that sort of thing, then we see people get a chance to kind of thrive with it. Have you always had good support behind you with your writing?
Not really, to some degree. And
Mhm.
that's a complicated answer, honestly. My parents, not so much. My brother, absolutely.
Mm,
So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Well, your brother's getting the lyrics. He can just concentrate
Yeah,
on
of
the
course,
music.
he's gonna support me, right?
That's right. Hey, sis, you got any more lines for me? So I got to ask with the lyric stuff, because that really I have very no ability to do that sort of thing. Do you come up with the lyrics before you hear music or after you hear music?
Sometimes before, sometimes when I hear it, it just depends.
Mm. So if it was a situation where you're hearing the music, are you singing it in your head to yourself, or does it just something about the syncopation or the instruments that'll draw you to do a line or a couple of lines in the lyrics?
It's more about the style, I think. Like the style of music plays a big part into it. So, like, if the music is more folky, I'm gonna make the lyrics kind of match the folky theme a little bit more,
Mm,
rather than just handing out lyrics that I just wrote
yeah,
for you know
yeah,
this line matches this line, or
yeah,
I feel like this verse is really well done.
yeah. And you wouldn't write a gothic lyrics about happy puppies. I don't think that would work. Uh, you have to have
Yeah, well, I mean, you could, but it
yeah.
would be a little strange.
Yeah, it'd be a it'd be a subgenre. I'll put it that way. Someone would go for it. I might go for it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a market for that.
Yeah, I'm actually getting a lot more into goth music these days. I'm going back to my '80s days. Um, in doing that, what type of music would you rather write for, though? Is there a particular type that you enjoy coming up with lyrics for?
Yes and no.
Mm,
Um, all right. So for my own music that I would write lyrics for, it's going to be a bit more of a like electronic kind of like Porter Robinson sort
mm,
of song.
yeah.
But if I'm doing lyrics for someone else, maybe I think I would really enjoy branching out to do lyrics for something more like Midwest emo.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm in the Midwest. I was emo as a kid for a while. Maybe more if you talk to other people. Um, yeah, that's to be able to have that creativity. I think is pretty amazing. You're one heck of a talented person. I'll tell you that. Um, and to be able to do that and to have that confidence to share that talent with other people. Uh, some folks are very talented and can't do that. Was it a chance where you opened up and showed somebody, got praise for it, and continued going, or did you work through some blocks?
I had to work through some blocks. My personal life is very different than my public life as a VTuber. Like they're almost polar opposites.
Oh.
So it was more of a I'm tired of being a closed and um like hermit type of person. I want to get out there and present what I have to people because in my private life I don't really have that.
Mm. You would you consider yourself an introvert?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, extreme introvert.
Mm. Has that gotten a little better since you started content creating?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really enjoy the content creation part of it. It's really freeing.
Mm. It's people get a chance with VTubing to present themselves any way they want within budget, and they get to set their own back. So you get to set. You're setting your own lore right now as as Nala right now. Um, that is very valuable for a lot of people. Do you think that's big for you too as a VTuber?
Yeah, it's one of the most important things for me. I
Mm.
mean, like I said, like my more professional life outside of VTubing is very restrictive. So being able to kind of unleash that creativity and do something solely for myself and, not for other people feels really good.
Yeah.
It was something that was more akin to a need than a want.
Ah, okay. So, is that how you got into it? Is you were looking for an outlet to expand in?
Yeah.
Hmm. And did you know about VTubers before you got started, or was it a case of finding out after you jumped in the water?
Yeah, I had watched the careers of like the first generation Hololive girls
Mm-hmm.
and it was really inspirational, despite all the things that happened with them, but it was really inspirational to like watch them kind of start their careers and see all the cool things that they were able to do and to kind of like follow what they were doing. It was like, man, that's so cool. And there's so many things that you can do with that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was fascinating.
It
And
and
the more I watched, the more I became fascinated.
oh yeah, I can. I agree with you. That's why I'm interviewing VTubers, is because everyone has a different story and background and talents and whens, whos, and whys. You're not going to find a more diverse group of people doing this, and all through the same streaming services to do that sort of thing as well. Um, do you find it, or have you found it tough to be a live streamer? I mean, not having a net, so to speak, just going out there and showing them how it's done.
I think that's one of the best parts about it, right? Because the chaos that can happen, the fuck ups, the stuff,
Yep.
all of it. I mean, it plays a part into who you are as a content creator, you are as a streamer, and it shows a lot about who you are, like both privately and professionally, with how you deal with those sorts of things. You
Yeah.
know?
Yes. Well, it also, yeah, it makes you more relatable, no matter you're presenting yourself as an avatar. But it makes you relatable to the person behind. If you go up and you're playing a game and you fall through the same area of the floor 6 times, somebody in your chat is gone through the same thing more than likely. and you
Yeah, they're probably laughing at you because they know that they did it too.
yeah, just they don't know, or they're trying to make you do it a 7th time. How is your relationship with your chat, and how has that developed since you started?
I I think have a wonderful chat. Like I'm still what I would consider a smaller VTuber, but I want to grow. And one of the best parts about uh, my community so far is just how expressive and wonderful they are in chat. Like those guys rock.
Yeah, it's when you started getting people coming back, and you realized that it was not necessarily for what you were doing, but because of they liked being around you, they liked your personality and your talents. What did that do for you?
Yeah, it was odd. It was an odd feeling. Like,
Mm.
that's where the imposter syndrome starts, right? Like,
Right.
why would they like me? Because I'm an introvert and
Mhm.
I don't really look at myself as like this talented person, even though other people tell me I am. It's like, that's never how I've pictured myself.
Mm. Yeah, that says a lot about you too. I mean, it's there's um there's a fine line to toe um realizing that you do have a talent and then getting a big head about it. It happened in radio a lot back in the day, and I might have been guilty of it 6 or 7 or 9 or 12 times. Um, but you have to kind of toe that line, or otherwise people are just going to like, oh, okay, we're done with you.
Well, I think in my private life, with the job that I have, I learned to be humble pretty early on
Mm,
because getting a big head and, you know, uh, getting overly, whatever about your work or like, feel like you're the best, you're going to get put in your place pretty quickly
hmm
and the consequences are dire. So
mm,
you have to be humble and think things through.
yeah, and it's a it's a long first step down for if you put yourself up there, and overconfidence is something that, but consistency seems to be the key for a lot of VTubers who are able to bring up audiences. Have you been able to be a consistent streamer?
My chat will tell you no. I try very hard. The last couple of weeks, I was on a hiatus for health reasons. I was in the hospital for a little while.
Oh, you're okay now?
Yeah, I started streaming again actually yesterday.
Oh, cool.
So I'm on the mend of doing a lot better, and I'm hoping to continue to, improve through physical therapy and whatever else I need to do.
Yeah.
But um, it's just another, it's another stake in your path. You just have to crawl over it best you can.
Oh, oh, and I wish I could remember that when something like that happens. 'Cause even at this age, with everything that's happened, I still catch one between the eyes every once in a while. And but it's if you need to take a step back, take a step back. Just don't turn and run, um, and lose everything that you've got in the meantime. Uh, it's has your health been a situation where it's made it tough for you at times to be a consistent streamer?
Only more recently,
Mm,
before like the first, I would say the first like 6, 7 months worth of like, after my debut, I probably did really well with consistency. I had, about 3 to 4 streams a week. And I was probably putting out, between 3 and 5 short videos on YouTube or TikTok a week.
mhm,
And I was pretty consistent with it.
mm. And that will build up an audience pretty quick. They know exactly when and where you're going to be on, and they tune in like an old radio show.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of changes during that time period where I changed my streaming time from like 8 a.m. in the morning to like 5 p.m. at night. But I think that was only the real like major change that I did. And a lot of the people that were there in the mornings were still regulars when I moved it to afternoons. So
Yeah,
I didn't really take a big hit for
yeah.
that either.
I mean, that's still quite a change. I mean, that's a 10-hour change, or more, well, a little less than a 10-hour change. But probably the people who are listening to you in the morning went to work, came back home, and then tuned into you again.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, you you picked the right length to switch around to. If we now that you're established as a VTuber, and you what are you right now streaming these days?
Like what games?
Yeah, yeah. What content will I see when I tune into one of your streams?
That's a big question because it kind of depends on whether I'm drinking or not.
Everything depends
All
on
right.
that.
So look, if I'm drinking, there's no telling you're gonna see something completely unhinged, and I might be, barking at the wolf person in my video game, asking it to breed me. There's no telling. There's no telling if I'm drunk, something weird is gonna happen, and I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna regret, and I'm gonna be like, please don't clip it, and it's gonna get clipped, and my
Yep.
editor's gonna make a video of it, and I don't know what to do about it.
Well, I mean, if it's popular, keep doing it. You're talking. You're talking
Well,
to.
yeah, I mean that's of
Yeah,
course.
you're talking to a radio
She's the
guy. I mean,
dragon.
yeah. If falling on your head brings more audience, keep falling on your head. That's, the big point
I
is.
mean, as far as the games go, like I really have been playing I try to play more like story oriented stuff or
Mhm.
like things that are more niche so
Mm.
that I can like try to bring some level of attention to things that are what I would consider to be more of like a hidden gem.
Mm.
While trying to also balance with like the more popular games because you want to grow as well. So
Right.
it's a balancing act.
Right. It just seems to me these days that the independent type games have that quality of the raw quality to them. Maybe I'm using the wrong word, but they're not sanitized. They're not fed through a ringer at the corporate level. Um, they're almost directly from the person's heart to the disc or the download. Do you find that with independent games these days?
I find it more with independent games these days, but I find it even more so with older games, if I'm being honest.
Hmm.
If we go back to like PS2 era RPGs, you're going to see some of the wildest stuff
Hmm.
that kids nowadays aren't going to see in their video games. Like they're so sanitized that
Hmm.
they just don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, even if you go even further back into some of the early computer games for the like the Commodore 64, which I had, or the Apple IIs. There were some things in those games that if you played them today, they would not pass. They
Yeah,
a,
absolutely
a,
not.
a corporation. I'm going to talk like 1985. Corporations would not let it go these days. Um, would not fly at all. But I think then it was more of a Wild West where people were sticking up things left and right. Nowadays, you almost see a more of a formulaic approach to these games where uh, A to B to C to D without any wiggle room in between. Do you think that's the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of stuff's more sanitized. I mean, everything from TV, cartoons to,
Yeah.
the movies and stuff that we watch. It's not as, like you said, it used to be more of a Wild West, right? Like the
Oh,
writers could just go ham with these concepts and like
oh
no
yeah.
one challenged them on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anybody who watches a Tex Avery cartoon will know what we're talking about. Um, that fellow was he only had like 41 cards in his deck, and they were all the three of clubs. But he was so talented, and his stuff is raucous as a comic um, cartoonist. Just really crazy stuff. Um, would you consider not playing a game if you didn't find the writing up to par?
Absolutely. That's a big part of it. Like I talk about what decisions a writer might make during these story type games.
Mm-hmm.
And I make predictions on how the game will turn out based on those things. Like, oh, I believe the writer is going to be taking the story in this direction, or I think that they made this happen because of this symbolism,
Mm-hmm.
or this is the theme that they're trying to get across with yada yada. So like those are the things that I think about while playing the game. So of course, if the writing's bad, the only reason I might play it is to just shit talk it. Then I'm going to be drinking.
Yes, and then all bets are off at that point. Uh, you're gonna get the unfiltered at that particular instant. Do sometimes the games that you play with this genre the story type games, would you rather be playing a story that has multiple endings or a story that kind of, no matter what you choose, is going to funnel you to one ending?
Oh, so you're asking if I want a story where I kind of get to pick things or if I enjoy being railroaded.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the one where I get to pick a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, there's a couple of games that got really popular that I don't know if you can even steer away from how the end goes. If you finish it, um, but people just enjoy the ride. It's more like a movie than a game, I think.
Sometimes that's absolutely what they're about, but it's no longer about like the story of the game. It's more about the streamer's reaction to the game, right?
Yeah, yeah. But again, I look at the um, the Doki Doki Literature Club game, and I mean, you can make some decisions along the way, but it pretty much ends the same way, doesn't it? Every time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a good story.
Oh yeah, it's a good story, and you can go in and replay it a little bit. That's just, I think, a problem that I have with some of the story games is that the replayability isn't always there. Um,
No, sometimes you play it once and you put it away.
yeah,
And that's that. Even if it's a choose your own adventure type story. We played one not too long ago. What was it called? Beacon Pines is the name of the game.
hmm
And it has multiple endings throughout the game. Like you can die like 1,000 different ways.
yeah,
And not actually 1,000, but
yeah, close enough.
that game was awesome.
Yeah,
We still, the moment that we were done with it, you put it down and that's that.
yeah, yeah. But at least you have the chance to come back later and get a different outcome. And there's something you said for that, but I was fully deeply engrossed, and I would still be if my computer were working. Stardew Valley, which basically ends the same way each time, but the fun was getting there, and then different paths to getting to that spot. Um, I still would have kind of liked to seen have it some different endings to it, but you can't have everything with it. If you were to put together a game, because you've got the experience now with it, what kind of story would you turn into a game?
Oh, it would be dark. It would
Mm,
be a dark game.
mm,
It would be rough. I want to say it would probably revolve around themes of like memory loss, grief, and it would bring out some of the darker things that people don't really want to talk about. And it would be very much a choose your own adventure type of game.
yeah, yeah. Would it be?
I don't know if the ending would always be set, but like I would probably have a set ending.
Yeah, yeah. Would you have like maybe some side things that could change, like a Fallout where you can some different things could go different ways, but not really affect the whole game?
Yeah, I think I guess the closest to what I'm describing would be something like did you ever play the Walking Dead
No,
games that came out?
no, no. I
Or
had a
like maybe Life is Strange?
no, no. I do have a cousin who was in The Walking Dead as one of the zombies, and she's actually
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah, they did a lot of that over in Atlanta, didn't they?
Yeah, and she's from there, and she's actually on one of the trading cards, which I think is really cool. Um, it's like my cousin is on a trading card forever, yay! Um, but I didn't get into that. The horror games are not my specialty, unfortunately. Um, I get scared very quickly, and then I want to go play something that's funny. Uh, that's that's just the old man talking, and that's been that way for a long time. But what was different about those types of games that you enjoyed above the other ones?
They were more cerebral. They really made me think a
Mm.
lot. I mean, at least to some degree. And
Yeah.
those aren't the perfect examples for the games that I enjoy the most, but I liked them for that reason.
Mm. So they were there puzzles you had to deal with, or was it just trying to add everything together,
Just
come up
hard
with a mystery?
choices,
Yeah,
like sometimes you have to decide like which way to go on something, and it's like yeah, they present you with hard choices.
mm,
And sometimes you have to be real honest with yourself about what choice you would be willing to make. If you take it seriously anyway, I mean, some people just joke around with those types of questions and will
yeah,
choose the worst option just to see what will happen. But
right, right. But you get into that situation, and there's always choices that are like 90% good, 10% bad, or maybe that can turn out better or worse depending on the situation. Those would be a lot of fun games. Have you been able to play very many of those?
I've played a few.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to play as many of those on stream as I would like, but like I said, Beacon Pines was very much like that.
Mm-hmm. Is that one of those games that you would play off the computer and not worry so much about what everybody else liked on it?
I went into that one completely blind. It was a recommendation for stream.
Mm-hmm.
And they just said, you're going to enjoy this game. Go play it online. And I was like, oh, okay. And so it did. It turned out to be great.
Yeah. See, they know what you're talking about. That is a really good relationship you have if chat knows what you're like already.
Yeah, they're sort of really attentive, more so than I realized at first. Like, it didn't occur to me until like later on when I would be telling a story or saying something, and they were like, oh, yeah, you're right. Talked a bit about that. I'm like, oh, God, they've been paying attention. They've been listening.
They've been paying attention too much. What do you know?
Right. Who are you? Why are you tracking me?
Now that's an imposter syndrome there. You're double reverse imposter syndrome. The audience is the
Yeah.
imposters in that particular case. Uh, so have you got any big projects coming up as a streamer? Is there something that we're waiting for here?
There's about 3 big projects that I have
Mm-hmm.
currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, maybe 4.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So one, I have an original song and music video that I've been working on.
Oh, great.
Right. And then I also have a comic book that is in production.
Oh, that's even better.
Right. And then I also have group 4 that I'm writing for someone else, and lore for another streamer that I'm doing, which I would consider a larger project.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one being my chat has been asking for this forever.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a dual hand, they would love to see a headless toggle. And finally pulling the trigger on being able to make that a reality for them as well.
Is that going to take some work to do, or are you going to be able to do it yourself, or you're going to have to farm out for that one?
Yeah, I'll farm that out to my VTuber mama. She'll do all that for me. She's fantastic. I love her.
Go ahead and give her a shout out if you like.
Yeah. Her is at Randpire on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. If you want to bug the mama, go right ahead and find out if they can help you too. So how many commissions for lore have you done, do you think?
Since I started VTubing, probably through 1, 2, 3, like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm. Have they all gone the way you wanted it, and the reaction you got?
I think so. All right. I think that they loved what I did for them. If they didn't like it, I mean, I don't know why they would still be sharing it, and they do. So it must be all right.
I can hear you smiling when you say that. By the way, it's it's something to be able to fulfill someone else's requirements that way, and have them happy with what you've done. Uh, would you say that that's just kind of a special feeling?
Yeah, especially if like you present them something at first and they go, I'm not thrilled with this. And then you do something completely different and all of a sudden their attitude changes and they love it.
Yeah, yeah. It must be nice to be that creative. And my art ability can be fit in a broken thimble. It's not going to be. There's not a lot to it. Um, it's so. Would you have you done any other types of art um, in the past?
A little bit. I actually have an art minor.
Oh,
So, I mean, I guess to some degree, like, I don't think I'm very artistic when it comes to drawing and things, but, um, I don't think I'm very good.
well, I that you definitely have the ability to come up with a story and develop it in your head, and to be able to take that into either a lyric form or a reading form. That's not easy to do. For to make it comfortable for someone to read and to get the vision that you're wanting to transmit. um, Not everybody can do that. Is have you
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, have you read some things before that that you're like, oh no, why did they do this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
there's like sometimes people do bad on purpose, right? It's like a B
right,
movie. Sometimes you do it horrendously on purpose as to you know,
right,
bring attention to the fact that it's supposed to be silly.
right, right, right. And there's some people too. My one of my favorite, maybe my favorite author is Douglas Adams, who did the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series of books, and Dirk Gently's Holistic Text Agency. And his style was so allegorical in a way, but his allegories were a lot sillier than other people's. He didn't stick to the rules uh, as far as writing goes. One of my favorite comparisons he used, and I'm not going to get this exactly right, but talked about someone falling out of the sky and hitting the floor. He said he was able to fly in much the same way that bricks don't. And well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, and I'm parsing that through my head, and I'm like, that's exactly right. He did that exactly the way bricks don't fly. Having that sort of, it's a bit florid maybe, but it anything that you can use to bring that in more into focus. Um, do you have a favorite writer that you enjoy reading?
I have favorite writers for different reasons. I
Hmm.
mean, there are some writers that I appreciate for their smut, and there are some writers that I appreciate for producing very thought provoking sorts of writings. I mean, if
Yeah.
we're going to talk about classics, Mary Shelley is definitely one of my favorites. Frankenstein
Oh yeah.
an awakening for me. But also, I mean, reading Kushiel's Dart was another type of awakening. Like,
Hmm.
they're so polar opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Another type of awakening indeed. Uh, in those sort of instances. But that's the beauty of the written word, is that you're able to be creative and activate the neurons in somebody's brain to create the universe themselves. Radio used to do that a lot with radio theater and that sort of thing. You had to have some awfully good writing and some really good sound effects guys. Um, but with the writing, it all comes together in your head. And when you see somebody get the gist of what your writing was about, um, do you like want to do a happy dance all over the place, or do you just kind of sit back and smile?
Oh man, there's no better feeling when someone actually takes the time to sit there, dig through my lore, understand the meanings behind the themes that I'm presenting and why I'm presenting it. And they don't just get like the main theme,
Mm,
but they've looked deep enough to see the meta narrative underneath
mm,
within the subtext. Like they don't see just the work, they also see the author as well. And that's why I'm doing it, is because it's not just about my lore, it's also about me as a content creator.
mm. Do you ever get scared when somebody reads something into what you wrote that you didn't even know you wrote into it?
I'm pretty deliberate with what I'm putting out there and trying to make sure that I'm being as honest with my feelings as possible, because that's what the entire point of my lore is about.
Yeah.
It's self-discovery. It's learning to be comfortable with yourself. It's learning to put yourself out there and to discover who you are.
Mhm. So you wouldn't be too upset if somebody ran it through their own filter and came up with a slightly different premise.
Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
mean, we're all different. So of course we're all going to get something different out of it. As long as they do get something different out of it, that's fine. Just get something out of it.
Right. And be honest about it. It's um if you don't get something out of it, then you don't get something out of it. Don't try to make something up. Uh, some great writers wrote some books that I don't want to read. It just didn't hit. And some folks are one hit wonders as far as books go. Um, they had
Or
that.
they change their style and all of a sudden you don't want to read what they were putting out. Like,
Oh,
you
exactly.
remember when John Grisham used to do all these like law books and then all of a sudden he would do something that was like completely different, like a painted house.
Yeah, yeah. Like what? No, I don't want to see that. More law books. Um, somebody. I used to read a lot of the intrigue spy novel type things. Um, and if somebody I was reading with that suddenly came up with Lassie's Great Adventure, and it didn't involve national intrigue, I'm not going to read it. Like, I don't know what you're doing here.
Right, right.
Yeah. Although I give him credit for shooting outside the box. Uh, you're never going to find out if you don't try, that sort of thing. Um, is that something that you're not afraid to do? I mean, if you see something that kind of catches your fancy, but it's not something that you've done before, will you go ahead and try it?
And that's what VTubing has been, every single bit of it. I've never done any of this before. It's not like, I grew up being a content creator. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just pretending as best I can.
You have just you have just in one nutshell described life in general. I'm pretending as best I can. That's there. There's your merch right there. Put it on a shirt, and you can sell it at the conventions. I think that's brilliant, and I don't think
Yeah, I'll send that over to my merchandise company right now.
yes, but trademark it real quick before you do. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously, you're pretty brilliant, and you've got an amazing talent, and it's so easy to talk with you about it, and to hear the comfort that you have in your voice when talking about it. Um, gives away how much it means to you. Obviously, to be able to express yourself that way. Uh, do you look to do more of the future? Are you going to try and keep the same pace? Are you looking to filter out some things that don't work? As far as writing goes, what is your future with it?
Well, what I tell my chat is that I am greedy. I am very greedy and I'm possessive and I don't want them to leave me. So, this means everything in the world to me. It means more than anything anyone could ever imagine. So I want to be the best. I want to be able to stream with the best. I want to be able to collaborate with the best.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make this everything. I want to be able to talk with my idols that, helped inspire me. I want to talk with my peers,
Yeah.
people that function on the same wavelength that I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's all kind. it all kind of wraps around the VTubing itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of checks all the boxes. Have you surprised yourself with how well you've done?
Yeah and no. I mean, I wish I was a bit more consistent. I didn't have, hiccups along the way.
Mm.
Otherwise, I'm happy with the way that things been going. I just wish I had more money to throw at it.
Another thing of life. Have more money to throw. That's you're being really deep without even trying today. But that is true, and hopefully people are gonna recognize what you got going here, and you'll be able to be the success that. Well, I mean, you already are a success. I'm not going to say that. You're a triumph of being able to do what you're doing and enjoying yourself and having other people enjoying as well. That is, no matter what happens here on out, and I hope a lot does in a positive way, that is something I hope you can look back and be proud of.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Me too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to come from Nala, and we're going to have the links in the description for this video. Check out what Nala's got going on. As you could hear from the interview, someone who's got some ideas, and I can't wait to see what else you got for us. So no pressure, do more stuff.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.